My passion for brook trout started many years ago. The backcountry hikes were invigorating. Tossing tiny flies into shallow, oxygen-filled rapids in hope of connecting with a 12-inch gem was an obsession that led me to some breathtaking scenery. But this trip for brook trout was going to be different. The mighty Nipigon River in northern Ontario is our destination, and this river is as massive as it is magical.
Welcome everybody. I'm Jeff Parks with the New Fly Fisher. We're up here in northern Ontario on the Nipigon River, and we're searching for world-class trophy brook trout.
And it's just a perfect brook trout habitat here. You got a nice hydro cushion in front of the island behind us here.
We're going to be guided by Neil Leduc from Affinity Angling.
I love brook trout. I had an opportunity to come up here this spring and fish coasters on the big lake, and snapped at the opportunity when the New Fly Fisher asked me to come up here and fish the river.
And we're going to be joined by special guest Joel Woltheis from Scientific Anglers, and this episode starts right now on the New Fly Fisher.
Ooh, that's a nice sized fish.
Absolutely fantastic. Good fish.
The New Fly Fisher is brought to you in partnership with Destination Ontario, Orvis Fly Fishing, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada.
The Nipigon River is located about an hour's drive northeast of Thunder Bay, Ontario. From Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, it is a breathtaking 6-hour drive up the coast of Lake Superior. This trip is definitely accessible by automobile. Our guide this week is Neil Leduc from Affinity Angling, and fly fishing guides don't come more professional than him.
So you can just put whatever you want here.
We are also accompanied by Joel Woltheis, marketing manager from Scientific Anglers, and he is one fishy guy. This is going to be one epic trip.
Since I was 14, 15, I've been hearing about the Nipigon. Big brook trout, world record came out of here way back in the day. And it's always been something really exciting to think about. The history of the coaster brook trout in Lake Superior, the history of the river. It's just a really interesting experience up here.
We're here on Nipigon River, and I'm with Neil Leduc from Affinity Angling. Neil, what do we got going on today?
Today we're going to be hitting the middle Nipigon River for brook trout. Hopefully going to get some on the dry fly. We'll do our best to get them on the top, and then probably some streamers and sink tips. And we got some calm weather right now, but it's supposed to get pretty windy, so we'll get at it and do our best.
All right, let's do this thing. I've never had anybody really do this for me. This is kind of fun.
With the stunning beauty of the Nipigon River in my sights, I began to wonder what this river was like back in 1915 when the world record brook trout was caught and still holds to this day at 14.5 pounds. You know in the back of my mind there's a 15-pounder with our name on it somewhere out there.
Just the rhythm of these fish too, you're rarely going to get them to come up twice in the same minute, but we'll just give it 3 or 4 minutes here and he might crush one of you again.
Sure.
Yeah, he's around.
Neil is a fan of topwater fishing for these brookies, but Joe and yours truly blew every chance we had.
Fish on. Ah, fish gone.
Too quick at the draw, as they say. We switched over to streamers, and that began our day.
So we're just set up on a main lake reef here. There's a lot of deep water surrounding this about 4 or 5 foot rock pile on the top here. And when the brookies are feeding, they're generally right up on the top of these rocks. Just a nice constant retrieve. And usually it's 5 or 10 minutes per spot like this. If they're there, we'll get them. If not, we just keep moving around. You'll notice the current starting to come actually against the wind through here too.
Fish on.
Yeah, attaboy.
Little guy, I think. Well, we've had some good chances at them. Lost 4, 3 on dries. Looks like we've got one smaller one. Finally, we might be able to get to the net here.
It's actually not too bad.
That's pretty. All right.
Got him. Right
Well,
on.
we're on the board.
On the board, boys.
On the board.
Looks out. There's about a 18-incher. Right on.
Nice. Nicely done.
Nicely done, gentlemen.
As per Neil's guidance, we kept moving up the river and worked the rock croppings in search of these spotted beauties.
That's it. The other thing too, they hang out near deep edges, but they don't necessarily go deep.
Right.
It didn't take long, and Joe's reel was put to the test.
Attaboy. Nice.
Nice. Got it right on the hang.
Yep. Maybe just have an eye. It could be a good one here too. It's kind of a bit of a big boy hangout.
With a river this size, sometimes you feel like you are searching for a needle in a haystack. A good guide is worth his weight in gold.
Yeah, I think we got a good one there, buddy. Oh, a little smaller. Just some heavy current. On board.
Very cool. Thank you, sir.
You betcha.
As Joe and I worked the river, we began to see and feel how healthy this river is. From hard-working volunteers like Randy Beamish, this body of water had been given a new life.
In 2005, there was another push for an overall regulation change to encompass the entire Nipigon system and the North Shore Lake Superior tributaries included. And that regulation was a 22-inch rule. So for the most part, it's a catch and release fishery with that. They got a lot of pushback from some stakeholder groups on that releasing brook trout back after they were caught was not a good thing. And there was no real science at the time other than some of the catch and release data from 97 to 2005. So they expanded it. I got involved in 2004 and started tagging fish in the system. Annual recapture rates are anywhere from 15 to 30%. They hover right in the 20% area. It's pretty consistent. We know it works. We know you can catch them. You can let them go and catch them again. They're healthy. In fact, in close to 3,000 fish, I've seen no damage from handling. I've seen the odd tag, expand the wound where the tag goes in has expanded, but nothing detrimental. The fish are very receptive to catch and release. And here we are today. The population has expanded. It's doing extremely well. The Lake Superior fish are back in traditional tributaries where they weren't seen before. People are catching them all over the lake now. So they're doing quite well. What I like about it is the chance, I can back my 18-foot boat in, an hour and a half drive from my home, and realistically can catch an 8 to 10 pound brook trout each season. There's very few places in the world you can catch a 25-inch brook trout, and the Nipigon is one of those places, so it's one of a handful in the world.
Okay, we stopped here, and I'm actually fishing a foam line. It's where the foam seems to congregate, and it's just a line down the river. And when you see that on the rivers that you're fishing, make sure you fish those. Those are the food. That's the food chain, the buffet table. And realistically, a lot of the bugs, the insects, and a lot of the fish are going to be hanging out by this foam line because it's a current that's taking it down. It's like an airstream, or if you could call it that. So that's where the fish are going to be. That's where the food is. So make sure you, whenever you're at your river or any of these brook trout rivers, always target that foam line because that's the spot where most of the fish are going to hang out at.
Our trek upriver was indeed a success, as Neil moved us expertly through the heaviest flows the locals have seen in years.
You just let me. Oh!
We were finding some willing fish, but getting them to the net was another story.
Wow, that fish hit as soon as it...
That was pretty neat. I think you were telling yourself.
As soon as it went into the water,
Yeah.
that was on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and it's off.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it all. Well, that's the way fishing goes. You get one, you lose one. Darn it all. Let's see if we can find that one again.
The hookups were fast, the flows were heavy, and the fish were using the current.
So this is just about the very top of the upper river here, below Lake Nipigon still. It's actually the last dam that they put in, Pine Portage Dam. And it's just a perfect brook trout habitat here. You got a nice hydro cushion in front of the island behind us here. And it's not a spot you're gonna get one every time, but it's kind of a nice spot to feel like you might get a big one, and that's kind of what we're going for here.
Cheers all around when Joe landed his second.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, that up, boy. Yeah, that was textbook.
Bigger pet's a better fish.
Nice fish, yeah. Yep. I'll just wait till you get them close, and then whenever you can get a good head lift, I'll come in there. And just take your time here too, it's really heavy currents. Good fish. And you just gotta enjoy them too, because they're pretty nice to fight in here.
These Nipigon brookies are tough as nails. You cannot let your guard down when battling these gems.
Yeah, baby. Nice.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, it looks like about 21 incher or so. Fly out. Barbless. Awesome.
Nicely done, buddy.
Beautiful brookie.
As our day progressed, the winds began to pick up and the casting became more difficult. This time the weatherman was unfortunately bang on. The clouds were beginning to break, but the wind was howling.
I got you. Did you get me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, we're fishing in a really windy day today. We've got 40-kilometer-hour winds, 25-mile-an-hour, somewhere in around there, and it's pretty ugly casting. As you can see, I'm wrapped around here. So a couple safety tips is one, wear a hat, because actually that would have been into my head right here. Two, if you can, get it into kind of a way of pinching down your barbs. You don't have to always pinch down your barbs, but one, it's better for the fish. Two, it's better for us when it goes into the side of our head. Number three, sunglasses. You only have two eyes, and with having only two eyes, that fly right there, if I didn't have sunglasses, could have gone into one of them, and you're blind in one eye or whatever. So make sure you wear sunglasses, make sure you wear a hat, and kind of get into a habit of pinching down those barbs. So quiet in here.
Neil again steered us in the right direction and we struck gold one more time.
Yeah, there we go. Nice, buddy.
Yeah, they like to take it nice and shallow on it.
Looks like a nice fish.
So I find a lot of people have trouble holding brook trout. I recommend just keeping them in the net if you can, in the water. You know, if you really need to get a picture with a lifetime fish, 3-4 seconds. If it doesn't work, back in the water. Some people like to use a tailing glove. I tend to just use my bare hands. But I'm just going to show you one little tweak you can do with your hands to give yourself a little better grip here. Naturally, you want to grab the fish with the side of your hand, and as you pull, he slips right out. But if you just roll your thumb so that the bridge of your thumb is in the middle of his tail, you can get a lot better grip on him. If you just see the middle of my thumb is on his tail, I can just get a little better grip. And then just a little pick up underneath and back in the net. Just for example, all you need is a quick lift, quick photo, right back in the water.
What a great first day we had out here today. Funny, you know what? I learned so much today. And one thing that I learned was that these fish will hit in 30 feet of water, even though your fly is 2 feet underneath the surface. Like they come up out of nowhere. And realistically, I didn't I thought we might have had to go, farther down. And so that was really neat that these fish are looking up in fast water and fast deep water. And the other thing I learned today was that this river like the back of your hand, man. You're unbelievable with this river. So I can't wait for tomorrow to see what tomorrow's going to bring. So.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And the nice thing with the brook trout is a lot of people underestimate how, I guess, the ability to rise so fast. The nice thing for me is I've had a really lucky upbringing in Algonquin Park with the cottage there, and I got to see brook trout behavior from, about this tall. So had I not seen that at a young age, I think I would probably be still trying to go deep, and a lot of guys just, unfortunately, don't ever get to see the real natural reaction of the brook trout. And I think if a few people just got to see them in their prime behavior, you just have a little bit more confidence going after them. So.
Awesome. Well, I know I have a lot more confidence after today too, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that was a great day.
Awesome. Can't wait. This is Joe Waltice from Scientific Anglers, Marketing Manager, and we just had our first day out on the river, fishing today on the Nipigon River. What a great day. Joe outfished me, but we both hooked, quite a few fish.
I think we turned almost 20 fish today.
Yeah.
It was a great day. Had some really awesome takes early in the morning on mice flies on the surface. And then we switched over to the river, fishing sinking lines, pulling streamers. Had some really awesome visual takes throughout the day. Had some fish go fairly deep on the swing. It was a really cool day. Learned a lot on the river today with you and Neil, and it was just a fun day getting some brookies to hand.
Wasn't it though? Yeah. It was amazing how many fish are in this river. So lots of different sizes too, which is awesome to see. So we got some weather tomorrow. Looks like we're going to have to wear the rain gear, but are you prepared for that?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's give it.
All right.
When up here in the Nipigon region, the Beaver Motel is perfect for anglers. The location is close to the river or lake. It has comfy rooms along with larger suites to accommodate small groups, and this is a great place to unwind after a fun day of fishing. After a great cozy stay at the Beaver Motel in Nipigon,
Here's your black, your 2 mil.
thank you,
Good morning. Can I help you?
we awoke to some howling winds. What a difference a day makes. The heavy breezes from the day before were supposed to have receded. This time the weather guru had been sleeping on the job. However, the nice thing about the Nipigon River is the diversity of the fish that swim in this river. The main channel was too choppy for any chance of a brookie today. Neil decided we should try our luck on some of the terrific northern pike fishing this river has to offer. You can't beat the action that northerns offer a fly angler.
Yeah, I always like the strip, but then the rod tip twitch.
Yeah. They really like to eat on the paws.
He's on. I didn't really stick to him. Well, that didn't take long. That was about 4 casts. This is a perfect habitat for these predators with the weed beds for camouflage. Get that fly moving so it looks alive, and watch out.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Is it a good one?
Decent, yeah.
Decent? All right, I'll get on that.
In any kind of fishing, if you think you see something following your fly, use your instincts and keep the fly in the water as long as possible. Always assume that the fish has eyes for your fly. More times than not, your instincts will prevail. This northern pike fishing will definitely keep you on your toes and give your arms a heck of a workout.
Just had a big pike come in on on a weed bed out here. Fishing some wire leaders, probably got about a little bit over a 30-incher. Got him right here. Real visual takes on that. That's awesome.
When a guide could take a miserable windy day and turn it into a fish fest, you know you've got the right person for the job. Hats off to you, Mr. Leduc.
The flies that we were using this week was very, very simple. We didn't use many different ones. Okay, here's one of the pike flies we were using, and you can see it has it's quite large. It's got lots of flash. You know, we were out there, today was really, really windy when we were out there chasing these northern pike. So we actually went big, and we went really, really flashy because the water was a little bit churned up. So that's gonna work here. But also, you don't have to go so big for these. You can use this, so you can a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to cast. With some different, you know, this has always been a very good pattern for the northern pike, the red and the black, but you can use yellows and greens and such, but you don't, as I said, you can see the difference in the size of these two here, that you don't need to always have something this big. We needed to get their attention because of that water was so chopped up because of this wind. But those are the flies that we use for the northern pike. And you know, you can always use a popper when the conditions are right, but this is what we used this week. This was the #1 fly right here, and with different colors in the middle, gold, red, but what you can see, it's a very low profile. It's not fat. It's not a very fat head on this. These are very, very smaller, a little bit thinner, and cuts through the water. And also, we were using this in the film, so right at the top of the water. So this was just sitting in the top of the water. So this low profile really worked well when we were skimming the surface. And then, speaking of the surface, when we were getting into the dries, we were using something like a steelhead skater, kind of what you might even want to call a gurgler style dry fly. And these were skating on the surface, but we were also popping these, and these were really, really effective for that morning bite, for that morning dry fly bite. And that's what we were using, just these two flies in couple different colors of the body here, and very low profiles. So the rods we were using this week, I was using a 7-weight 9-foot rod and an 8-weight 9-foot rod. I brought 2 different weights because I really wasn't sure of the flow. You can probably get away with a 7-weight, a couple 7-weights. I would bring at least 2 of them, or a 7 or an 8-weight. But these are the strengths that you want to bring. You don't want to bring a 6-weight or a 5-weight. This current up here is just way too strong. So the reels we were using this week were mid-arbors. You don't need a large arbor. You definitely don't want a small arbor, but the mid-size just seems to be the perfect size for these fish and the way that they fight. So coupled with those reels, we were using full sinking lines for the one, and we were also using floating lines for the other. The sinking lines was for the streamers. The floating lines, realistically, was for the dry fly and some of the streamers that we just wanted to get underneath the film. So I would have at least a couple reels with you with 2 different setups, with the sinking line and the floating line. For the pike fishing this week, we were using 9-foot 9 weights. Coupled with that, with a large arbor reel with a great drag system, because these pike can run and we need to be able to pick this line up very quickly. We have a floating line on these, and we also have a bite tippet attached to that, attached to the fly. And that's how we were working these pike this week. A new day, and we were back hunting world-class trophy brook trout.
The weather was lingering, but the day was shaping up quite nicely.
Well, Neil, we got a different day today. It was supposed to be raining, and actually it's overcast, but not too bad. Less wind, so that's awesome. Where are we going today, and how are we fishing it, and what are we doing?
Today we'll be on the upper Nipigon River, so about as far up the river as you can get. It actually leads into the lake, so we'll probably fish it all the way up until the current ends and then work our way back. The goal is probably dry fly to start. Another method that we like to use is called the grease line. A lot of steelheaders in BC basically using this to get aggressive fish to come up, and the brook trout are no different. So basically just a tapered leader, no sink tip at all, just inches under the water, and we'll kind of work each spot in layers. So generally if you want to start with the dry fly, start with the dry. If you don't get them, we'll use the sink tip, and then kind of just work our way up the river, about maybe 30 different spots that we'll hit. Some of them are heavy current, others are just stripping, so we'll just try to find a population and get what we can.
Cool, sounds exciting. I can't wait.
Should be fun.
Let's get at it.
There is definitely lots of room for casting on this river. It is a fly fisher's paradise. An early hookup put us all at ease.
Oh yeah, you can see it's quite shallow in here, eh?
Yeah. That's kind of what we're working with, and then I think, yeah, if you just go right off of this corner, just go to the fastest. I'm just put the drift on the edge here.
Fish on.
Out of board.
Yep.
Nice. Give me 2 seconds there, Jeff.
Looks like a good one.
Okay, we've had quite a few hits on dries. Missed those, and we just put in a nice streamer just in the film. And I was just stripping this, actually not even stripping, I just threw it in. And it was just in for about 10 feet, just starting to turn and make the turn for a nice swing, and this fish hit that. I think it might be a smaller one, but it's a nice one to start the day. Haven't seen it yet. And it saw the net. And it's using the current. Should be coming into, wow, there it is back there, Neil. Wow.
Put it into neutral, and then it'll be a little easier to get them in.
Okay. Boy, these, it doesn't matter what size these are, they pack a good punch. I'll see if I can bring him in a little bit closer to here. He comes right now, buddy. Nicely done. On the board for the day. Wow, that was beautiful. You know, it's just swinging that fly in the film, and it's so effective. They're looking up. These fish are looking up and they're feeding. It's a great way to do it. Okay, the key thing is with that fish there is that what we're trying to do is we're trying to slow this fly down because this is really, really fast water. We don't want to get that fly moving too quickly, so we're trying to slow it down, so obviously we're mending. The main thing to do when the line goes in first, you need to mend that line as soon as it gets in the water because it's easier to mend the belly of the line that's close to the leader there. So as soon as it goes into the water, you mend it upriver. It's a lot easier. That's going to slow the fly down, and that worked for us here today.
As I threw streamers just underneath the film, Joe was working the dry fly application. Can it get any better than moving a trophy fish on the surface? I don't think so.
Yep. Nice. Ah! I got the eat.
The taste.
I got the take.
Got the eat. Got it.
I got the eat.
That up, boy.
Woo! That was a cool shot.
That must have been an amazing shot.
Looks like we hit a fishy day, and even though many of our hookups did not make it to the net, a day fishing on the Nipigon River with our guide, Neil Leduc, was an incredible experience.
The season in Nipigon, you can find me here probably early May until about September 15th for sure, maybe a little bit later. But the brook trout closes here on Lake Nipigon September 15th and Labor Day for the river and Lake Superior. So there's a few different peak windows, I would say, for the brook trout here. If you just want to come and stick with your streamers and maybe a sinking tip or just staying a little bit deeper, you don't really have to worry about the trout keying in on the bugs. So it's pretty consistent if you want to come early, maybe deal with a little colder weather. But they're eating smelt for the most part. My favorite would probably be mid-July, which is a little tougher for some people who haven't done much dry fly fishing. But it's nice to kind of show people what brook trout behavior is really about. And when the bugs start to hatch at the end of May, all through July, August here, we get a really nice hex hatch, probably around Canada Day. And then another one usually when the lakes turn in mid-August. So you'll see the hexes start to come as that water flips over, cooler, and it's just kind of a revolving window of opportunity here.
This river has countless miles of shoreline to explore. With each cast, your fly is passing numerous ambush and hiding spots for these brook trout.
Oh, that was another one.
Yep, if you just keep stripping, he might come and get you again.
Yeah, he's following.
Yep,
there he is. Got him again.
Boy. Nice work.
Yeah. So he hit that. This guy hit this thing first, and I could see him still looking at it, and I just.
Yeah, that was a classic. If you don't give up after the hit, the brookies love to keep chasing.
They did. I just slowed it down and made it look a little wounded. And it's about the same size as the last one. Beautiful fish. Should be coming back in, buddy.
Perfect. Yep, very similar size. Right on.
The day was heating up, and Joe and the brook trout were having a blast.
I tell you, You got the touch today, Joe.
Yeah, he was just on that. Once it bellied out, just nice subtle take. Got my nerves out of me. Stopped setting the hook.
Along with a full-on love and hate relationship.
Wonder how many times he's seen my fly today.
Oh.
I think I should probably give up for now.
Talk to me about this one. What were you doing on this one?
Just swinging deep, got a nice men down on it.
Beautiful.
And just got right into that, into that 45.
Darn it all.
He just came in and grabbed it on the hang on the way back in.
Yeah, that was like the third strip you hit it on.
Nice little female, I think.
Oh, no.
That's the third fish I've lost today. It's frustrating. Sometimes you just don't get them to the boat. We got heavy current here, fishing barbless flies, and sometimes they just pull out and fishing them on the swing. It's frustrating, but it's fishing.
Oh. So we're fishing a streamer and a dry on the boat here right now. And Joe, can you tell us a little bit about these lines that we're using here?
Sure. So we're trying to mix things up a little bit, putting some dry flies, streamers through a run here. I'm fishing a longer, a little bit heavier taper from Scientific Anglers called the Anadro. It's really great for skating. It's got a long, gradual back taper, great for mending. Jeff's fishing one of our Sonar triple density lines, a full sink line. He's fishing an I-3-5, so that's an intermediate sink 3, sink 5. Getting right to the middle of the water column, presenting nice even, and doesn't really have that belly that you'll find within sink tips. It's getting a nice gradual straight line connection to the fish, so when there's a take on the swing, you're able to just have a nice smooth connection and set the hook into it.
It's hard to explain the intensity of this current we are fishing in. These epic high flows have given the fish a good advantage, but another beauty to the net for Joe had us charged.
Yeah.
Right off that shelf.
That looked like that hit right away.
As soon as I started the swing, it was right underneath the back of that cedar tree back there.
Boy, I can't imagine what that's like holding in that, for a fish holding into that current and still fighting.
Yeah, he's tiring out here pretty quick. Oh.
Oh, what a fish, buddy. Nice fish.
Woo.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
Right on, brother. Nice one.
I had mused earlier that there may be a 15-pounder with our name on it somewhere out in this world-class river. So when Joe hooked onto a fish that we couldn't raise,
that's crazy.
My senses began to build as we all watched with excitement.
He's coming right back out too. Walk the dog right back up here.
That one looks even bigger.
Feels like a largemouth.
How was the hit on that one?
That was no question that I got hit. I just popped it when I went slack back there, and he came up and just cranked it.
Yeah, this one might be pretty big.
Well, just sitting in heavy current, fighting that fish. It was dogging down deep, got it up to the boat and just fighting it for 5+ minutes, and it just came unpinned right at the back of the boat. Probably a 26-inch fish, one of the largest fish that Neil said he's ever seen out here. Just heart-wrenching, but it's how the day goes sometimes, right? Ah, man.
Couldn't have done it.
No,
Oh,
I'm surprised it stayed on so long.
When he came up to the surface and started edging.
Yeah, I was like, oh God. And he just started backing down.
Wow, what an insane day we had today. There are so many fish in this water. It's unbelievable, and especially if you know where to look for them, and that's where Neil, our guide, absolutely shines. We got some great hits on some dries. We got lots of fish on some streamers, and we also had some heartache out there, buddy. Talk to me about those.
Yeah, well, we started out the day fishing dries, skating some deer hair mice, some little wakers. Had some fantastic takes on them, and a little rusty on the take, and pulled it away from them a couple times, and had a couple of really good eats, and they came unpinned at the side of the boat in the morning. Later in the day, we hooked a few great fish on streamers, landed a couple of them, and unfortunately, we lost one of our biggest fish of the day. We hooked one just enormous fish, and
An enormous.
yeah, it's I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken about it. These guys, they could see it in my face when it came unpinned.
I'm surprised there wasn't any tears on that. Like, that was just an incredible fish, probably 26. We want him probably tonight. It's going to be 27 inches.
Nipigon River, what a place. I will be back.
Well, what a great week we had here on the Nipigon River. This truly is the place to find world-class trophy brook trout. I'd like to thank Neil Leduc from Affinity Angling for guiding us into some fantastic fish here on the river. I'd also like to congratulate Joe Woltheis from Scientific Anglers for hooking onto the biggest brook trout he'll probably ever hook onto in his life. I'd also like to thank the Beaver Motel for the comfortable stay here in Nipigon. If you'd like to learn more about this show and other shows in our series, please visit us on the web at www.thenewflyfisher.com. And until then, keep fishing.
The New Fly Fisher is brought to you in partnership with Destination Ontario, Orvis Fly Fishing, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada,